years, 7 months, and 7 days of dedicated service to this country, this city, and the District of Columbia Army National Guard. Presiding over today's ceremony is your host, Colonel William K. Madsen, Chief of Staff, Land Component Command, District of Columbia National Guard. I am Staff Sergeant Alessandra Stewart, your Mistress of Ceremonies for today's event. Please rise for the arrival of the official party, presenting of colors, and remain standing for the national anthem and the invocation by Master Sergeant Gary James.
Let us pray. Lord, we praise you for your amazing grace and your love toward us. Today we come before your presence with deep appreciation in our hearts for all the many gifts you have provided for us each day. Family, loved ones, good friends, laughter, awesome opportunities. Help us to always receive these gifts with thanksgiving, and may our hearts be stirred up to remember all of your love and grace which we receive because of your love toward us. We ask that you bless our Major Childs as he begins a new phase in his life. We ask that the grace of God continually be upon his life and that he continue to find favor and have good success as he sets out to explore new possibilities and opportunities. We ask for a special blessing for his family, his wife, his children, that you continue to give them strength, peace, and joy as they continue to enjoy life together and step off into this new journey called retirement. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen.
Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Thank you, Master Sergeant James. With great pride, we welcome the many distinguished guests who have joined us today. Please hold your applause to the end of these introductions. Brigadier General Aaron R. Dean II, the Adjutant General, District of Columbia National Guard. Colonel Leland D. Blanchard, Land Component Command, District of Columbia Army National Guard. Chief Warrant Officer 5, Michael R. Jewett, Command Chief Warrant Officer, District of Columbia Army National Guard. Colonel Moses P. Robinson, Troop Command Commander, District of Columbia, Army National Guard. Command Sergeant Major Octavia B. Williamson, Land Component Command, District of Columbia, Army National Guard. I would also like to welcome from Sergeant Major Child's immediate family, his wife Mary, his sons Delonte and Keyshawn, his daughters J. Marie and Jasmine. To the extended family, dear friends, distinguished visitors, fellow retirees and veterans, and Capitol Guardians who have come to celebrate this amazing retirement ceremony, welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce your host, Colonel William K. Madsen, Chief of Staff, Land Component Command, District of Columbia, Army National Guard.
Thank you, Sergeant Stewart. Good afternoon, family. Mary, a special shout out to Delonte, who couldn't be here. Keyshawn, J. Marie, and Jasmine, welcome. Geraldine, Colonel Blanchard, thanks so much for attending. 25 years plus. 7 months, 7 days. Plus of service to this great nation. And we'll get into where I was talking about. Older than you are, but you've done some great things here. I think when I first got here to the DC Army National Guard, we were in the same unit for about 15 minutes, where you took a look around and you're like, nope, I'm out. Wise knows what I'm talking about. Sergeant Miller knows what I'm talking about. I won't say our relationship started there, but it didn't take long to see what you brought to the table. I think you've held every position as a 42 Alpha that you could possibly hold in the DC Army National Guard. One of my favorite things about going down to the HM assistant branch, where you first started, which was then the PSB, is there's a picture of Private Childs, Sergeant Childs, in Greens, working the CAC machine 20 years ago. Seems like somebody said that was the last time it worked. I don't think that's funny. But I actually really appreciate that picture being down there. It gives the soldiers that work in that office an opportunity to see what's possible. They see young Sergeant Childs working in the CAC office, who's now Sergeant Major Childs in charge of all the 42s, OPR for all the 42s, and just see what's possible and what you can accomplish when you work hard. I think our relationship really blossomed when we were put in charge of QRF. I don't remember what year that was exactly, 2012, 13-ish. But I was the QRF commander. He was the first sergeant. I know we didn't always get along, and we didn't always see eye to eye. But he was amazing, just always looking out for troops, always had their best interest at heart, and wasn't afraid to pull me off to the side and say, hey, maybe that's a good idea. I'm going to paraphrase that part. Maybe you should think about doing it like this. And it was a great experience. Wasn't always the best of times. There were some long nights that turned into days. And I'll say we did such a good job that when we were no longer in charge of QRF, it stopped working. It stopped happening. We won't talk about, the union or anything about that. We'll just take credit for doing such a great job that nobody could live up to our high standards. I think what you're really going to need to know, though, is the soldiers are going to be just sad and disappointed when you leave, because I don't know where they're going to buy knockoff commander's gear anymore, or what I'll call feats, fake feats. Some people told me I had to get some jabs in, but seriously, I think the best thing that I can say about him is this. During COVID, I was pulled away from the G1. I was put on the Joint Task Force, the J1, Deputy J1, for almost 15 months, I think. And not once did I worry about the G1. Sergeant Major Childs not only was doing his duties, he was doing the duties of the G1. And he never missed a beat, and I was never worried that a soldier wasn't being taken care of. He may not have had a robust staff to help him, because most of everybody was tasked to do other things. But everything that needed to get done got done under the supervision of Sergeant Major Childs. And it was because of his leadership and his ability to take care of soldiers that I was able to support the district in different ways. And I don't think couldn't be a bigger compliment to you, So you were able to take on that task no problem, along with doing the sergeant major duties and everything else that you do for this organization. So congratulations on a successful career, and just to, drive it home, less than 2% of the force gets a sergeant major. So you can hold your head high knowing that you did everything right along the way, and you are an amazing individual who deserves nothing but the best in retirement. Congratulations.
Thank you, Colonel Madsen. We will now have special remarks from Colonel Denby.
Thank you. Joe Dean, Colonel Banton, Colonel Robinson, Chief Stewart, we talked on the phone a couple times, and I told Charles, or Sergeant Major Charles, that I said, how can I get up here and not roast you, but really get forth the passion and the zeal that I saw from when he was an E5 all the way up to where he is now. All of his assignments and the special assignments that we all took part of. And I look out here and I see all the people that he interacted with, all the soldiers that he inspired, motivated, and ensured that they get to the next level rather than be their boss. He was their mentor. He was their motivator. He was behind them, pushing them every step of their career. But he was doing his job as a leader, as a strong NCO that took the NCO creed to heart. He took taking care of soldiers to heart, and to sit back and watch this buck sergeant keep in the back of his mind to take care of and constantly take care of soldiers. I would sit in his office sometimes, and he'd have a piece of chicken in this hand and typing on the computer with this hand and answering the phone, with this shoulder. And I'm like, wow. And then he said, well, yeah, I called Mary. I told Mary I'll be home late because I got this paper to write. So he's still working on his master's degree while taking care of soldiers, while taking care of himself, and taking care of home. So with that being said, NEDEC went down to Jamaica. And as the first sergeant, or the deck sergeant, the passion that he had for the Jamaican Defense Forces and the mission that they were down there to accomplish. He had some fun. He had some times that were memorable. You found that ATM machine, and he walked back and forth and back and forth. I said, please don't find this ATM machine. But that's between us. But it was his motivation and his dedication that helped our state partnership with Jamaica grow and flourish. Awesome job. Awesome job from an awesome NCO. So at this time, I'm going to present him with and it reads, in honor of 25 years, 7 days, of distinguished service and commitment to the D.C. Army National Guard, Sergeant Major James Child, Jr. And I would be remiss, because I called him 2 days ago and I asked him if it'd be okay to do this at his ceremony. He's like, oh, absolutely. So, Major retired Dr. Andre Slaughter He left out of this place like a true Air Force pilot on a stealth bomber. He rolled out of here, and I called up one day, and I was like, hey, anybody seen Andre? And they was like, Andre retired 3 months ago. So it blew my mind. So I asked James if it would be okay to send this guy off the way he should have been sent off.
Oh, okay. Hope you ready.
This plaque reads, in honor of 24 years of distinguished service and commitment to the DC Army National Guard, Major Retired Andre Slaughter, or Dr. Slaughter.
Doctor.
Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
A plaque, but you know, I got him here that way. But and before I go, so you go ahead. He was down in Jamaica also, and they brought him down as a electronic repair or something. He was literally fixing the broken medical devices in the hospitals of the Jamaican hospitals. Pieces of equipment that were so broken that, you know, the hospital just had to do without. So he took his time, and he was in there all hours of the night soldering and fixing and just refixing this stuff and putting it back into service and giving that hospital the ability to continue to serve the people. Awesome job. And while he was doing that, he was writing his dissertation for his doctorate degree. Because I passed him in the lobby on my way upstairs. What are you doing? Oh yeah, man, I gotta write this, I gotta put this in. So while he was doing that, he was serving the JDF and the people of Jamaica and taking care of himself. So I had to bring you in and
good job.
give you that.
Doctor.
Thank you, Colonel Demby. Sergeant Major Childs, can you please move forward on the stage for the presentation of awards? Command Sergeant Major Octavia Williamson will now present Sergeant Major Childs with a replica of the Minuteman statue. A replica of the Minuteman statue by Daniel Chester French Concord, Massachusetts, is presented to Sergeant Major James Childs Jr., G1 Sergeant Major, Joint Force Headquarters, District of Columbia, Army National Guard, for his outstanding service from 24 January 1997 through 31 August 2022. Sergeant Major Childs served with pride, honor, and integrity, bringing great credit upon himself, the District of Columbia National Guard, and the United States Army. Thank you, Command Sergeant Major Williams. Brigadier General Aaron R. Dean II will now present Sergeant Major Childs with official retirement orders.
He done. Yeah, we need to stay for that. You gotta have that
Good afternoon. All right, so I was supposed to present the order this afternoon, right? So in lieu of doing the order, because I don't think we have the order.
You gotta come back tomorrow. You got one more day. 8 days.
So here's the thing. So it said that NCOs are the backbone of the Army. And I truly believe that. As such, Sergeant Major Childs is the representative of the backbone of the Army. Let me tell you what that means to me. What it means to me is the backbone of the Army is the leg of the stool that actually holds up the Army. Coaches and mentors people to come behind you. Services, guardsmen, in a way that no other can, because I consider people in the DC National Guard family. And when I say family, it's not that you don't hold people. It's not that you don't hold people accountable in your family. Because everybody has roll uncles and cousins and brothers and things like that, right? But there's nothing you won't do for family. And there's nothing that Sergeant Major Childs won't do for a fellow DC Guard. And there's nothing that he wouldn't do for anybody that asked him for help. So Sergeant Major was a 42, and administrative personnel. So let me tell you, he's one of the best we've ever had.
Yes.
The best.
Okay.
And I can certify that because whenever I ask for any support, any help, any guidance, because remember, NCO's got any guidance, he was always there. He always picked up the phone, whether he was here, at home. I called him at home one time, he said, "You want me to come back?" I said, "Please." He turned around and came back. He was already home. Turned around and came back. So, one, I wanted to thank you for your 25 years, 7 months, and 7 days. Because it's very important. And you're a DC Guardsman from a long way back. I don't think you got here before me, but I think you're a DC Guardsman a long way back. Did you get here before 1989? Oh, here we go. And there you have it, right? Okay. But nevertheless, he is a long-standing National Guard with a lot of experience, and it's evident by the people that showed up here today that we all thank you for your service. We thank you for your dedication. We thank you for your commitment. And this is your special day. And as I say, all good love affairs come to an end, but you're still family. And we're not divorced, we're just separated, right? So you're always welcome, and this is your home. And I want you to call this home because you're a Capitol Guardian for life. And as a Capitol Guardian for life, you have alumni rights. Come in and basically just see what we're doing. Come talk to us. See how we are. And we'll do the same to you. We'll see how you are. We'll see how your family's doing. Because even though you're no longer a part of this formation, you're still a part of our lives. So thank you very much for your dedication, service, and commitment. And thanks for all that you have done to everybody in the DC National Guard. So thank you very much.
Attention to orders. Order number 33508, Sergeant Major James Childs Jr., G1 Sergeant Major, Joint Force Headquarters, Washington, D.C. You are released from active duty and on the date following placed on the retired list. The people of the United States express their thanks and gratitude for your faithful service. Your contributions to the defense of the United States of America are greatly appreciated. On date placed on the retired list, you are transferred to the U.S. Army Reserve Control Group. Effective date 31 August 2022. Date placed on retirement list 1 September 2022. Retired grade of rank E9. By order of the Commanding General, signed by Major General Sherry L. McCandless, Commanding General, District of Columbia, National Guard. Please be seated. We will now present the retirement certificate and retirement pin.
It's over now, bro.
No more 8 days. We retired. It's okay.
Yeah, still come back tomorrow.
We'll come back and visit.
The certificate of retirement reads, Certificate of Retirement. From the Armed Forces of the United States of America, to all who shall see these presents greeting. This is to certify that Sergeant Major James Childs Jr., having served faithfully and honorably, was retired from the United States Army on the 31st of August 2022. Signed, General James C. McConville, United States Army Chief of Staff, Washington, D.C.
Nope. You get a card. Okay.
Each time Sergeant Major Childs wears his uniform or business attire, this pin will serve as a reminder to all that he has served his country faithfully and has earned this retirement. The pin indicates that he is still an Army National Guard member, but now serves in a retired status. Sergeant Major Childs, please wear this pin proudly on any occasion where you may represent the Army National Guard and National Guard of the United States.
Pen?
Will Staff Sergeant Katrina Payne please escort Ms. Childs to the stage?
Oh, Miss Childs. Call her Miss Childs. Miss Childs. Should he fit which one?
In addition to his own military career, Sergeant Major Childs' wife, Miss Mary Childs,
For me?
has supported him in his role as a military spouse.
No.
The United States Army recognizes the importance of that role with a spouse retirement certificate. Their certificate reads, Certificate of Appreciation from the United States Army to all who shall see these presents greeting. This is to certify that Miss Mary Childs, on the occasion of her husband's retirement from the United States Army, has earned grateful appreciation for her own unselfishness, faithful, and devoted service.
Yeah.
Unfailing rapport and understanding help to make possible lasting contributions to the nation. Signed, General James C. McConville, United States Army Chief of Staff, Washington, D.C.
Yeah. You retired, girl.
We would now like to honor Sergeant Major Childs with the flag of the United States of America.
Look at you getting awarded. You get all the awards. You retired, girl.
Sergeant Major Childs, on behalf of your many soldiers and airmen, including those who have made the supreme sacrifice, we wish to present to you what is regarded as a military member's most honored and cherished possession, the flag of the United States of America.
Woo!
For more than 200 years, the American flag has been the symbol of our nation's unity, as well as a source of pride and inspiration for millions of citizens. Representative of this great nation, which you have so proudly served and honorably defended, it is the true emblem of your unity and power and our purpose. As a nation, please accept it and let it remind you that many young men and women you have guided and inspired will follow in your footsteps and defend it with equal pride.
Yes.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce Sergeant Major James Childs, retired.
Woo! He retired, y'all. He retired. Woo! That's my baby. That's my baby boy. Thank you. So,
Let y'all know, man, what you at? You get the timer started, baby. I got 6 pages to go through.
oh, wow. 6. You better thank
Y'all too, so.
You better thank God and your
So
mama and
first I
your
want to thank
wife.
the Honor Guard. The Honor Guard being here is probably one of the biggest things that I wanted to happen, because the first 17 years here in the DC Guard, I was a member of the Honor Guard. The first 5 years I was a member. The last 12 I was NCOIC. So the Honor Guard being here was amazing. I want to say a separate thank you, special thank you to Staff Sergeant Stewart. So I want to say thank you to her because I think she was more excited for a ceremony than I was. She was planning everything. Since I couldn't be here in the building, she really took the ball and ran with it, along with Staff Sergeant Payne and Staff Sergeant Bell. So all this, the chair setting up, piping grape, she helped set up all this stuff. So I appreciate that.
She do this too?
That didn't count towards my time either. All right. So normally my promotion ceremonies, I would have bullets. I actually wrote down the speech today because I had a lot to say. But before I get started, I didn't know Colonel Hawkins. I thank you for being here, sir. I didn't expect you to be here. Colonel Hawkins was my ROTC instructor in high school.
Oh, wow. Oh, come on now. Thank you for being here. And Tanya Walker, my high school, graduated high school with Tanya. I
haven't seen Tony in years. So it feels special to me. Hey, start the time, Q. All right. So I've attended many different ceremonies, many retirement ceremonies throughout my career at the DC Army National Guard. I used to always wonder what would it be like to be on this side of the podium. Right now, I feel sad, I feel anxious, and I feel joyous at the same time. And I knew that when I retired, that I had to have my ceremony on the drill floor because this drill floor played a major part in my life beginning in 1995. It was on this drill floor in 1995, 1996, 1997, March and April, that the best damn high school in DC, Paul Laurence Dunbar, ROTC program participated in a citywide drill competition, and we pretty much was a dynasty. We came in first and second place in a lot of competitions on this drill floor. So this drill floor means a lot to me since that day. Also on this drill floor back in January 1998, I had my first drill after coming back from basic and AIT. And I sat in that corner right over there. And my first duty was handing out records. A unit was going to SRP. So all week and all the day was handing out records. Also on this drill floor in 1998, late 1998 or early 1999, I was stopped by Brigadier General Neal. I think he was the Deputy Commanding General at the time. And he told me that he heard I was doing a good job working in the PSB. And he gave me a coin and an autographed picture of his. I still had that photo. And also in this drill from 1998, I don't know if y'all remember seeing him before, John Simpson. He made me do push-ups for no reason. I don't know why. If he was here, I guess I'll thank him. So, also in this drill floor back in 2000s, the basketball goal that the guys play on now, myself, Rod, Dockett, Mo, Matt, Sarah Wilson, and Tony Moore, we played basketball almost every PT morning. Also on this drill floor around 2005 and 2006, I had an incident with a certain senior NCO that people still remind me of to this day. It was an epic incident. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, so also on this drill floor back in 2003, we was playing basketball in that corner. I know I was killing them at the time too. We was playing basketball and this bad joint came walking across the drill floor. That's a really nice looking woman, if anybody knows what a bad joint is, right? So they walking across the drill floor and the game stopped. Everybody, who is that? I don't know. So, later on, and I ended up marrying her and stuff. 19 years later, she's still a bad joint. All right, so many people played an important role in my life up until this point. You guys been in many of my promotion ceremonies, so I'm not going to touch on everybody, but we still going to be up here for a minute. One person I definitely want to thank, and that's Lawrence Few. Lawrence Few has been in this building for 23 years. I don't know if y'all remember Sergeant Few. He's sitting right there. He was my first mentor coming into this building. He was my first big brother coming into this building. He was a Dunbar graduate as well. So he's come on, so I knew him since I was in 10th grade. And when I first joined the Guard, he pulled me onto the Honor Guard. So he's the one that got me started with the Honor Guard. But the main thing I remember about you, Few, was back in 1989 when I got inducted into the NCO Corps. I don't know if you remember. You was my sponsor for the ceremony, and the uniform was BDUs at the time. And you had on Class Bs. So the ceremony started, and they told you you couldn't participate in the ceremony. And so they replaced you with Sergeant First Class Lynch. I don't know if you remember that, Mom Lynch, but they replaced her with you. So Sergeant First Class Lynch had on her BDU, so she stood next to me, and the line was progressive. We got up, it was probably like one person in front of me before I was getting inducted. Next thing, all I heard was, I looked to my right, you standing next to me in BDU. So I'm like, what the hell is that? His head on his knees. Man, I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. That meant a lot to me. And welcome home, man. Welcome home. Thanks for being back in here. Y'all know what Chief Schindler means to me. He's not here today, so I'm gonna leave that out. We'll save some time on that one too. So I'm leaving him out. He sent me a nice text last night. And Sheila Mitchell. I'm not even gonna say nothing about Sheila Mitchell because I want to hear Colonel Dumby's mouth. So I'm gonna leave her out too, but she couldn't make it. I had some stuff here about General Schwartz too, but he couldn't make it. So he meant a lot to me. General Schwartz is my true definition of you never know what it's got till it's gone. No one is